Hi everyone, welcome to English 102. I am Miss Neeson and it's good to be welcoming you all to the new semester. And I know things are not as they normally would be, but we're going to do our best this semester to work together to do some reading and some writing and some learning in English 102. So this video is specifically about the syllabus. So to get to the syllabus, you will look under here under important information and course links and scroll down until you see English 102 syllabus and go ahead and click that link and it will open up to a page that looks like this. So you are navigating to this on an electronic device, whether it's your phone or your computer or your tablet, and you can see here that there are a variety of different blue links. Each of these links is for you to get some additional information, whether it's about the course, an app we're using, or something else entirely. You'll never know what you might find. So I encourage you to click through the links because there may be a surprise hiding there for you. Okay, so English 102, Fall 2020, our focus this semester is what is literature? This question of what is literature. And to get started, you'll see here this amazing quote from James Baldwin. You think your pain and heartbreak are unprecedented in the history of the world, but then you read. I love that quote so much because it tells me that I am not alone in my feelings, but it also helps me to realize that there is a whole world of people out there who are not me and who have had very different experiences than I have. And reading and writing about reading is one way that I can learn about those experiences and be a better person. So that's why I chose to put that quote at the top of our syllabus. You'll see here information about me, student hours. This information about student hours will be talked about more explicitly in the Navigating Moodle video, which you'll watch for today as well. And I wanted to briefly mention here at the top of the syllabus is something that is not typically here. But as we know, this is not a semester like other semesters. There's a lot going on in the world today, and I think it's important that we move forward with compassion. So I have a statement here, Compassionate Principles of English 102 in a Global Pandemic During a Fight for Racial Justice. There's a lot happening in the world today. Global pandemic, as I mentioned, a fight for racial justice, police violence, all kinds of things are going on. And all of these things may be impacting us in ways that we don't even know. So I think it's important that we keep these tenets of compassion in mind. This isn't an ideal situation. We didn't sign up for sickness, the physical distancing, or the pause of our collective lives together on campus, and we need to be aware of that. The humane option is the best option. We're going to prioritize supporting each other as humans. We're going to look for simple solutions to make sense for the most, and we're going to prioritize sharing resources and communicating clearly. We will foster intellectual nourishment, social connection, and personal accommodation. So in this class, we are not meeting synchronously, so there will be no time where you're required to log in. I'm not going to say, for example, each Monday from 1 to 2, we will be having class. The class materials are designed so that you can work on them on your own. There is a policy for work that you may have to submit late, which I will talk about in the grading contract discussion video. And there will be opportunities for you to connect with me and your peers weekly. That's what the student hours are weekly. But during this challenging time, I just don't think that I don't think it's in the best interest of all of us to make us connect in a specific time and day. So we're going to foster these connections in a variety of ways, and we'll remain flexible and adjust to the situation. Right now, we are working, we're living remotely, most of us, and that's a challenge. You may have family, you may have kids, you may have people that you're taking care of, and we don't really know where this is going, but we'll need to adapt, I'm sure, at some point in the semester. So we're going to keep that in mind. So I just wanted to preface the class with that. This compassionate learning environment is very important to me because we are all coming from different angles and we need to be aware and sensitive of that. So with that in mind, let's jump into the course content. I've got some frequently asked questions about English 102 here. As I said, this is a living document. It may change based on what you suggest, based on what we talk about, and it's always adaptable, so please check back with it. Please check back to it often. So during this class, we're going to ask the basic question, what is literature? Who gets to decide what literature is? What is counted as literature? Whose voices are heard in literature? Whose voices are left out? What is canonical literature? We're going to talk about a whole bunch of things related to literature. So how can you be successful in this class? Bring an open mind, be ready to learn, share your ideas, and so much more. I have a lot of information here on the syllabus, so this is just an overview. You need to read through it carefully on your own, but I'm hitting the highlights here. So how can you be successful? You have to have regular and reliable access to a computer and the internet to be successful in this class. Our class is going to take place on Moodle, and all of the materials will be provided to you on Moodle. So if you don't have regular access to Moodle, it's going to be difficult for you. If at the beginning of this semester you're saying to yourself, I really want to continue in this class, but my computer is very old, or I only have my phone, please contact me, because there are some potential resources I can put you in touch with that may allow you to continue in the class. But be aware that if you continue in this class and you don't have access to the regular access to the internet, and I mean at least once a week, and access to a computer, it will be very difficult for you to be successful. But if you feel like that might be a barrier, please talk to me. I want to help. We will be using your MPC Gmail account, so be sure you have access to that and Moodle. And if you do not, there is a link here. I'll put the link in here to the help desk. We will also be using the app Flipgrid, so it will be helpful for you to download that on your phone or bookmark it on your computer. And we'll also use the Remind app, but you don't need to download it. You can just click this link to register. And this link is also right here on Moodle, so a couple of places for you to register. Here's some suggestions for further ways to be successful. You should be aware up front that this is a class that will require regular engagement from you. It's not something where you can check in once a month and get all the work done. You will be completing tasks, doing discussions, turning assignments in weekly, sometimes multiple times per week. So be prepared for that. Just because this is an online class or a class in an online environment doesn't mean that it's going to be a walk in the park for you. It's a challenging course, and I expect a lot from you. So what are we going to do in class? Each week we'll read some literature, we will discuss some literature, and we will do some writing about literature, basically. So this class is broken into different labors, as you will learn in the grading contract discussion video. Our class is graded differently than your previous classes may have been graded. So each of the labors you can read about more here by clicking the links. You'll notice that I only have 2 of the labor sheets completed. I am working on completing the others as we speak. We'll also have mini assignments weekly, so these will be reading responses. You may have small assignments like summaries. Sometimes it will be a paragraph. I may ask you to do MLA practice or something like that. And all of these things will help you to work towards the skills in the labor projects. You don't need to buy any textbooks for this class. All of our course materials are open education resources, so they will all be provided for you on Moodle for free. So no need to buy any textbooks. Here's some of the ones that we'll be using in case you want to browse or you want to do some additional reading. And what will you be able to do when you finish the class? What are the goals of this class? You'll be prepared to write college-level papers that are well-developed and employ grammar appropriately, bias-free language. You'll be able to apply critical thinking and analytical thinking to short fiction and different academic articles. We'll be using MLA. We'll be working with the writing process and also looking at poetry. So there's a lot of variety and different objectives for the semester. So I am Miss Neeson, as I said. This is my 3rd year at NPC, but I've been in higher education for quite some time. I love my husband and my dogs. I'm a big nerd. I love nerdy things. I like D&D. I like science fiction. I like fantasy. I love to escape into the fictional world, which has been super helpful during this challenging time that we're in. You can reach me via email, and I'm going to delete that because we have information about student hours up top. I will do my best to respond to you within 24 hours during the week and 48 hours on weekends and holidays. Just so you know, I don't typically respond to emails during the weekend unless it is an emergency. I try my best to have a bit of work-life balance and not check my email on the weekends. So I will get back to you, I promise. If you have a question, though, before you contact me, I would strongly encourage you to look at the syllabus. That's this document we're discussing. The labor project handouts that are linked weekly, and to check your email and Moodle announcements, because there may be information that is there that would answer the question for you. So as I mentioned, our class is virtual. There will be weekly schedules. You'll complete assignments, and you'll occasionally check in with me this semester. You're not required to attend class synchronously. We will be doing these things in an asynchronous way, meaning on our own time. Here's a bit of information about plagiarism. Plagiarism is something that we want to avoid. Just to highlight the key things that I want you to pay close attention to. If you are retaking this class, you should not be handing in the same papers as you used in a previous semester. You need to write new versions of the assignments. If a paper involves plagiarism of the unintentional kind, I may ask you to rewrite the paper using correct documentation. But if you can continue to submit plagiarized work, then there may be harsher punishments. For example, you can receive an F in the class, and you could potentially get kicked out of the college. So my point number 3 here is just don't do it. If you find yourself in a situation where you feel like you need to plagiarize or you're being pushed to plagiarize, let me know and we can work together. So how will grades be determined? This has gone over extensively in the grading contract discussion video, so please review that. This is not a typical class. You will not be gathering points. Everyone starts the class with a B, and you work by completing labor to maintain that B. And if you don't complete the labor, your B will drop. If you complete additional labor, your grade will go up. So for further details, please review the video. Because of our labor-based contract, revising work is pretty much always allowed because this is all about learning. One of the big things about writing and writing classes is that not being good at it is part of it, and that's part of growing and becoming a better writer and becoming more confident and feeling more sure of yourself. But in traditional classes, you don't really have the structure to grow because if you don't do well on an assignment, you're penalized. So in this class, you will have the opportunity to revise as much as you want, and that will help you work towards improving your B. It will also help you work towards improving your writing skills. And here I've got a bunch of resources at NPC to help you. So we have information about disability resources and accommodations, library services, tutoring. If you need accommodations, please let me know or contact the Disability Resource and Access Office with Dr. Sandy Maynor. She is amazing and will help you, and I will help you as well. If you have needs related to a disability that aren't being met in the class, please communicate with me. I want our classroom culture to be inclusive of all, and if I can do better, I will. So please let me know. Talk to me. I'm here, even though I'm not in your face every single week. I am here and I am ready to listen and ready to help and want to connect with you and see your faces and hear your voices. So please talk with me, communicate with me. I'm here. Lastly, I use the pronouns she and hers. If there are pronouns or names that you use that are different than the ones listed on your school records, please let me know. All right, so here's a basic course outline of kind of what we're going to be doing. And please, please, please take time to review the syllabus carefully in full And if you have questions, let me know. Drop in during student hours the first week of class, send me an email, and we will get started on the right foot.